Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of the Damn You 2 Sports Talk Show. It's your boy Ralph Sneaks checking in live with another episode, man. If you ain't done so, head over to YouTube, subscribe to the content. Uh Make sure you hit that notification button so you can get notified when new content releases. Head over to Twitter, Damn You 2 Sports Talk. You can follow Twitter. Or you can head over to Instagram, follow it damn_you2_ sports talk. Or if you want to follow my personal page, Ralph_sneaks on Instagram. Um, Man, we're gonna get to it. A lot of NFL action. Week 1 of the NFL kicked off. Of course, we had college football kick off. Um, but first of all, let me just say this, and then I'm gonna use this to segue get into fade on into the NFL because it's still football. I just want to say this first. Colorado played Nebraska this past weekend, in which Colorado got dominated by Nebraska. But that wasn't the biggest issue to me. The biggest issue was the post-game interview in which they had with Shador and him making comments and calling out his offensive line. Now, he was talking to the reporters, talking to the media, and he made the comment, how many times did Raiola get touched? Dylan Raiola, if you don't know, that's the quarterback of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That's the stud quarterback over there in Nebraska. Now, in my opinion, that's not something Shador should have said. I get and understand his frustration. The game ain't going according to plan. You're getting hit. You're getting sacked. You're not able to get loose. You're not able to get in the game and compete like you want to because up front, you just ain't having success up front, which is making you kind of one-dimensional because you couldn't run the ball. And because you can't run the ball, it does nothing in play action to open up the pass game because you can't do nothing running the ball. So you're not having success up front. The Nebraska defensive line was having their way with the Colorado's offensive line. I get all that. But you still don't throw your offensive line under the bus and your defensive line to some degree. Although he didn't make comments that made you think that he was talking about the defensive line. But if you listen closely at the comments that he did make, you could also argue the point that he was throwing shots to some degree at the defensive line as well, because he said how many times did Raiola get touched. Basically saying that my offensive line didn't protect me the same way Nebraska's offensive line protected him. But you could also say that Raiola didn't get touched because my defensive line on the Colorado defense couldn't generate no pressure to put him under pressure to touch him the way I was getting touched from the Nebraska's defensive line. So you can say he threw the defensive line under the bus too, right along with the offensive line. Now, in my opinion, if I was on that team, I don't give a damn what position I played, especially if I was an offensive lineman on the team. I would have went right to him after he said that or right after I heard the comments, and I would have checked his ass. I would have told him shit like that you don't add out to the media. Even though we didn't have a good game and we got our ass beat, you don't add no shit out like that to the media. You don't make the situation worse by saying that. You answer the questions as best as you can without throwing us under the bus. At the end of the day, we'll talk about that amongst ourselves in-house. We'll keep that in-house. We don't need you going out there putting that shit out there in the media like that. They watched the game. They saw. They make their own analogy of what they saw. You don't go out there and confirm it like that. You don't throw us under the bus like that. Especially not if you're supposed to be the leader of this team as the quarterback. You don't do no shit like that. I would have went to him privately after I heard that and seen that clip and told him that. And I don't give a damn if he do go back and tell his daddy. Prime the head coach over there. I would tell. Matter of fact, what I would do is once I heard that shit, I would have went to Dion my damn self and said that. Like, look, bro, we gotta have a team only meeting. Matter of fact, let's have a players only meeting. You don't add no shit like that out to the media. How the hell does that make you look now if you Shador Sanders? Because if you get drafted as high as you projected to get drafted, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go to a team that has a bad offensive line. It's a reason they drafting that damn high. Because the team ain't good. Now, the only exception you will have for that is if a team that's got a good offensive line and got pieces and got draft capital is willing to give that up and trade all the way up from where they at up that high to draft you. Or if a team was already good and they got that pick from another team from a prior trade that they already did, and now they own that pick. That was the only 2 exceptions. But if you go and get drafted as high as you projected to get drafted, then you're gonna go to a team that's bad. That's a reason why they drafting that damn high. Because they bad. And you come with this kind of energy, throwing your team under the bus. Now the thing about it is, your offensive line was bad last season. So you had an off season to hit the portal. There's NIL money floating around out here. You had all off season to fix one of the biggest problems that you had coming into this season from last season, which was the offensive line. So how about talking to the guys that were responsible for bringing these guys in? And if these guys weren't cutting it, why didn't you bring the guys in that could do a better job and put them up front to protect your quarterback? So let's not sit here and act like the man didn't throw a pick six from his own damn end zone. He threw a pick six standing in his own end zone. So let's not throw other people under the bus for the lack of accountability, because that's how they looking at you different now. How you gonna do that when you get to the NFL level, when you have a bad game in which the offensive line get dominated by the opponent's defensive line, and you don't have the type of game you thought you should have? What you gonna do? Get on there and throw shots at the offensive line because you had a bad game with protection? It happens, and I get it that you had a bad offensive line last year. There are gonna be games in which the other team are better than you at certain phases of the game, and they dominated you up front. Nebraska's defensive line played much better and dominated the Colorado Buffaloes offensive line. Period. And if I'm on that team, I don't give a damn if I don't play on the offensive line. I'm going to the quarterback, and we're going to have a private combo about him not doing that shit no more. Because he is the quarterback. He is going to get interviewed by the media after more games this season. He's definitely going to get in the media. He's definitely going to get the interviews talking about the game, whether you win them or you lose them. You're going to get the interviews if you're the quarterback talking about the game, especially if you Shador Sanders. So I'm going to him right now after the second game of the season, and I'm having a private combo with him, and I'm telling him, look, bro, don't do that shit again. Because for one, you don't look like a leader when you do shit like that. Two, you're airing out information that we could have kept in-house and talked about amongst ourselves at a team-only meeting or a players-only meeting. We could have discussed this privately. You ain't have to go out there and take slick jabs at the offensive line like that. Now, if you're an offensive lineman, how you feel? Now, I don't know what type of relationship they got off the field during practice or whatever, but it seemed like that shit went out the window when he said what he said in the interview. But I just wanted to start off by getting that off my chest and saying that, uh, I don't give a damn who the quarterback is. It could have been somebody else that said that. I wouldn't have liked that shit regardless of who the quarterback is. So let's not act like I'm just saying that because that's Shador Sanders. I don't give a damn who the quarterback is. If you say some shit like that after we got our ass beat the way we got our ass beat, you know, uh, the offensive line wasn't the only, positions that played bad that game. Your defense couldn't stop no damn body. You was getting beat at all phases of the game. So let's not act like the offensive line was the only players, the only positions, the only phase of the game that you were underperforming at. You got beat to hell. You got beat at all phases. So don't just throw the offensive line under the bus. Just say we didn't play well as a team. Because you didn't play well on offense, you didn't play well on defense. You just didn't play a good game as a team. Everybody seen the game. If they didn't see the game, they can see the highlights. They can go in and pinpoint themselves what particular positions didn't play well based off what they saw. Let them do that. Don't go out there and throw your guys under the bus. Now how you think they really feel about you? You know? So, I just had to start the show off by saying that because I ain't like that shit. It don't look good. And like I said, I'm not just saying that because that's Shedeur Sanders. That could have been any quarterback up there that said that. I don't like when shit like that happens. That's just me personally. Now I don't know what you got to look at how you interview when you going into the draft, talking with these teams. Now they looking at that. So I just had to start off by saying that, man. That wasn't a classic move. You know what I'm saying? Especially from a quarterback supposed to be the leader of your team, the guy that people follow. That wasn't cool in my opinion. So if I'm on that team, man, I'm going to him in private and like, look, bro, that wasn't cool. I get it. You didn't have a good game. You got hit a lot. You got sacked a lot. You had good games. You had bad games. Now, the same way you throwing them under the bus when you have a bad game, I want you to get up there and get them their props when you have a good game and we do win. Don't just get up there and talk about them when we have a bad game or you have a bad game and we lose as a team, because that's what it is. It's a team sport. The same way you get up there and talk about them and throw them under the bus when you have a bad game, I need you to get up there and speak highly and talk good about them when we have a good game and win. That's just me. That's just me. But that's gonna get us right on into NFL talk. There's a lot of week one NFL games. And I was watching some of these games, man, and looking at these scores and looking at how some of these guys performed week one. I started thinking, I was like, what is not playing some of these guys more in the preseason hurting, the start of the season for some of these guys? Because every year we look at it where teams start slow, they lose the first, game or two of the season, and then they come back and it's a situation where they get hot during the season and then they come down to the stretch of the season towards the end of the season or whatever, and they need help getting into the playoffs. They don't control their own destiny. But had they won one of those, first couple games of the season, that situation might be different. They might be poised for the playoffs. They don't have to depend on another team losing or another team beating another team and you getting in or whatever. I was just looking at it, from a standpoint of some of these guys need some more. And I understand how you're trying to protect your players. You don't want your players to get hurt. You're trying to prevent injury at all costs, especially in a meaningless preseason game where it don't count. It's not a regular season game. It don't count against your record. The stats don't count. The win and loss don't count. It's preseason. I get that. I'm not saying play the guys an entire half, but some of these guys need to get out there and get up to game speed. I get they have joint practices, but that's practice. Now that it matters, week one of the NFL matters. The stats, they get counted against you or for you and against you. The wins and losses now matter. You don't is not 0-0 now. It's either you're 1-0 or you're 0-1. So nobody tied this week. So you either 1-0 or you 0-1. And just looking into how some of these guys didn't play preseason, and if they did play preseason, they only played maybe a couple series out of three preseason games that they do play. You're looking at a situation like, and I hate to talk this much about it, but some got to be said about this. You look at Bryce Young in Carolina. They had the worst damn record in the NFL last year, 2-15. They traded DJ Moore along with other picks to move up from I think 9-1 to draft him with the first overall pick, which I don't think was the right move. You set the franchise back. You had Frank Wright as your head coach. I don't know why the hell you hired him. It don't look like this franchise, this organization got a plan as to how they gonna rebuild this team. It seems like they just spending money because they got it. They're not spending it on the right players at the right positions. They're not making smart moves as far as drafting players. They're nowhere near winning or contending for the division. I ain't even gonna say the damn playoffs. You gotta get the division first before you make the playoffs. So there's levels and steps to getting better. You didn't make the right moves. You're not making the right signings. You're just pumping money out there because you got paying money out there to players because you got it. You don't really have an identity. You don't have a plan. So I look at the preseason in which Bryce Young barely damn played. And I don't get it because he's going into year 2. Well, this right here is his second year. Last year he was a rookie. You won 2 damn games your rookie season. And I get it. A lot of it, a lot of it had to do with you had a lack of weapons. Your offensive line wasn't worth a damn. You didn't have any receivers to get the ball to. So that was an awful rookie year to go through. I get that. But the type of year you had, we couldn't even look at Bryce Young and see any damn bright spots last year that we could be, looking forward to coming into this year. We didn't see none of that. So you come out here in the preseason, you half-ass play because you don't play games, and when you do play, you don't play but maybe 2 series or whatever. They treating this dude like he a vet, and I don't understand why the hell he wasn't out there playing more preseason games, getting more reps, getting more time. You ain't no damn veteran. You didn't come off a season in which you made the playoffs your rookie year. You came off a season in which you ain't win but 2 damn games. Now you coming into your sophomore season with a new head coach and a new scheme. So why the hell your ass went out there playing the preseason, getting familiar with his new head coach and his scheme, getting more reps, getting more live playing time action, not in camp, not in practice. When you got joint practice and all that, your ass need to be out there getting snaps during the game. But instead, they was holding him out like he's some type of veteran quarterback that's been leading his team to playoff after playoff after playoff when you just came off a damn 2-win season in which you now got a new head coach and a new scheme, but his ass sitting out on the sideline. And as a result, you come out there and look like straight hell the first game, getting all kinds of hell beat out you down in New Orleans, 47-10. Matter of fact, your first damn pass attempt was picked off. I'm talking about just got the hell beat out you down there in New Orleans. You're overthrowing the ball. You're throwing the ball all over the damn place. You're throwing the ball behind receivers. You're overthrowing them by 5, 6, 7 yards. I'm talking about the receivers looking up at the ball like it was another receiver running a route behind them. They ain't even realize the damn ball was intended for them. It was so far off the damn target. As a result, it's getting picked off. New Orleans is going the other way. They running and ramming the ball, throwing it all down to throw it on your damn defense. I mean, it just looked like nobody touched the football this offseason. I mean, it was just absolutely embarrassing. If you Dave Canales, you looking at this like, boy, I can't believe I signed up for this shit. I mean, Bryce Young is only in his second year, and he already looking like a bust. You set the guy up for failure because you didn't have a plan as to how you was going to put a team around him. First of all, if I'm Carolina, I wouldn't have been so eager to jump up there and get a quarterback so quick because you didn't have no pieces in place for a quarterback. You should have just been getting bridge quarterbacks for the next 2-3 years until you got pieces in play at key positions. You should have been got your offensive line solidified. But instead, you went out there and spent a shitload of money on the offensive line this season, and it looked like complete shit down in New Orleans yesterday. Just getting the hell beat out of Bryce Young in the pocket. Then when he did have time, he's stepping up, throwing all inaccurate and all that. You drafted Xavier Legette. You brought in Deontay Johnson. You already had Adam Thielen there. You got Jonathan Mingo, who you drafted, I think, 2 years ago out of Ole Miss. It's either last year or two. It's either his second year or the third year, but I think it's his second year. You drafted him. You let Terrence Marshall Jr. go. You don't got nothing in place. So what were you so eager to trade assets away for to move up to get a quarterback when you had so many other holes to fill and plug up? In my opinion, the Carolina Panthers should just now be looking to get a quarterback in this upcoming draft. They should not have Bryce Young. If anything, they should have been trading back to gain more assets to fit the plug and fill more holes. But instead, you go and get a quarterback. Trade all your you trade away a key player that you needed, DJ Moore. He over there in damn Chicago right now. He just got some money over there in Chicago. You use him to trade away. That's a key piece that you receive that a quarterback's gonna need. But instead, you trade that away to move up, and you ain't got a damn thing for a young quarterback to move up to. Then you got Frank Wright as the damn head coach. If Frank Wright was so good with young quarterbacks, why the hell Indy didn't keep him when they drafted a young quarterback in Anthony Richardson? If he was that damn good with young quarterbacks, don't you think the Indianapolis Colts would have kept him, knowing they were going to take a quarterback in that draft, and they took Anthony Richardson, I think, with the 4th pick? I think he was the 4th pick. Anthony Richardson, if he was that damn good with young quarterbacks, don't you think they would have kept him for the quarterback they was about to draft? But instead, Carolina go and hire hand-me-down that ain't did a damn thing with Bryce, but get fired. So now you bring in Dave Canales, who had Geno Smith looking good out there when Geno took over in Seattle, and had Baker Mayfield looking good when Baker Mayfield got to Tampa. You bring him in to try to get Bryce Young looking good, and he just looked worse. Now I'm not saying it's all Dave Canales' fault because he just got there. This is his first game with the Panthers. But you ain't got no identity over there if you Carolina. You ain't got no plan, no direction. You got no nothing. You just out there spending free agent money. You just out there drafting guys. You don't even have a plan on which direction, what's your identity, which side of the ball you going to start on, what's going to be your identity, what we going to start at with this rebuild. You just started plugging folks in. And as a result, you got Bryce Young. Now he look like a bust. If I'm the NFL, I'm investigating the Carolina Panthers. There's no reason for them to look this damn bad. And to make matters worse, you just lost Derrick Brown. I don't know if it's season ending or he's going to miss majority of the season, but it's more than likely a season-ending injury, a knee injury. Your big stud D tackle up front. So he's gone. So whatever coach is in there at Carolina, and it just happens to be Dave Canales now, you got to understand that you are brought in there to fix Bryce Young. You're not brought in there to say, look, at the end of this season, we're going to get a quarterback, and it's going to be the guy that I want. You're not there for that. You're there to fix Bryce Young because this is an organization that traded up assets to move from the 9 spot all the way up to the first number 1 pick to get Bryce. They're not giving up assets. They're not giving up assets to draft a quarterback for them to give up on him after year 2 for a new guy to come in and say, look, we need to draft this quarterback and get off of this quarterback. They didn't do that. Whatever they bring it in is to fix whatever issue Bryce Young got. And so far, that shit ain't working. So you can say they fucked up that trade. Ain't nobody going to say it like that, but I'm going to tell you, they fucked that trade up. That's why it's important to have an identity, to have a direction and a plan of what it is you're trying to do when you rebuild it. I don't think everybody in that organization is on the same championship music. I think David Tepper, the owner, is too much in the way. And nobody really can come to the table with an actual identity of what this team's going to be, an actual plan of how we're going to go about rebuilding this team, what are we going to start at, because you got David Tepper in the way overriding everything. Now you look like a complete ass because you gave all that up for a quarterback that looks like he's going to be or is a bust. That's what he looked like right now. You don't even see signs of what this guy can get better at. You fired a coach to bring in another one. Now you can't fire this coach because now you're really going to look like an ass. Firing people and moving people just because you made a bad pick in Bryce Young. This shit has got to be investigated if you the NFL, if you the league. You can't have a team under your umbrella looking this damn bad. I mean, you cannot have a team looking this bad. Week 1, you come out and give up 47 damn points on the road to the New Orleans Saints. Week 1. Week damn 1, you give up 47 points to New Orleans. And if I'm not mistaken, this week coming up, I think they got the LA Chargers coming up this weekend. I'm at to double check that, but I'm pretty sure I think they got the Chargers coming in Carolina this weekend. But you look like the laughing stock of the league right now. You just look horrible. You look disgusting. You ain't even giving the fans nothing to look at. This shit is ridiculous. You start the season off like this. What the hell are you doing in Charlotte? I'm talking about you ain't giving the people of Charlotte no kind of hope. And you could arguably say this is one of the worst divisions in the NFL, and you still can't get your shit together to get in the mix. Then you got Deshaun Watson looking washed against the Dallas Cowboys. Don't let that 17 points fool you that the Cleveland Browns scored. They got some of that when Dallas took their ass off the gas. Let's be clear about it. They didn't have their foot on the gas. They had their whole ass on the gas. The way they was going up and down the field and beating the hell out of Cleveland. 33-17, Dak got his money. He signed his 4-year, $240 million contract. I saw the news yesterday morning. Yesterday, about noon when I saw it. So you can the Dak rumors of him not being in Dallas, you can take that off. You can cancel that. You can X that out, take that off the board. He got a 4-year deal. He gonna be there. They got CeeDee Lamb inked into a deal. So all they gotta do is just get Michael Parsons inked into a deal. I mean, there's nothing else to talk about when it comes to Dallas. They went to Cleveland, took care of business. But you got a lot to say about Cleveland. What's the rookie offensive lineman they got there? Guyton. He looked damn good going up against Myles Garrett. Frustrating him. Myles Garrett couldn't really get off in that game. And like I said, Deshaun Watson looked washed. 5-year, $230 million deal, fully guaranteed. Now I understand that, they restructured and reworked the deal, but still, what you gave up to get the trade for Deshaun Watson, you just made the Houston Texans better, much better. And you can argue that the Houston Texans look better offensively with C.J. Stroud than the Cleveland Browns look with Deshaun Watson. And C.J. Stroud on a rookie deal. Meanwhile, Cleveland got to worry about the $230 million deal that they gave to Deshaun Watson and the assets they gave away to trade for Watson. You can say all you want to say. Watson, I don't think he's going to be the same in the same quarterback that we saw in Houston. Them days might be gone. I think all that shit, them allegations with all them damn women, I think that took a toll on them. I don't damn what nobody say. When shit like that come out, you can't just go back to being and perform at a high level like you was. You paid out a lot of money. You had lawyer fees. You had civil suit. You had all this shit you had to pay out. You ain't gonna be the same. All them allegations got the best of Deshaun Watson. Because he looked washed yesterday. Overthrowing people. I mean, he looked like his foot was stuck in the mud when it came to trying to scramble and get out of the pocket. Now, I credit the Dallas defense because they had, DeMarcus Lawrence was all over the field. Michael Parsons was all over the field. The secondary on the back end was making plays. Amari Cooper, 2 receptions, 16 yards. Now, he did have 9 targets, but he only caught 2 of them for 16 yards. A lot of that had to do with the fact that he had Trayvon Diggs on him. So, but there was routes that he was running that he was open. He just got the ball was overthrown, too high, too far in front of him or behind him, So a lot of that was just inaccurate throws. You don't want to start the season off getting the hell beat out you like this. Now, if you start the season off and you lose a game, I can live with losing a game if it's a close game. But you come out here, you just look like you ain't touched the football since the season ended last year. That's what I'm saying about you need to get these guys in here and get them ready to play. You need to get these guys in here and get them some preseason reps. Because you come out here looking like this shit is unacceptable. This shit was god awful yesterday. I mean, you had fans booing them. The Dallas Cowboys showed the Cleveland Browns no respect. It was one point in the game where they attempted, they were about to attempt a 71-yard field goal. Now, previously I think it was like a 66-yard field goal, and then it was a penalty that went against Dallas that went called on the Dallas Cowboys that backed them up 5 yards. That's what made it a 71. But once he kicked that 66-yard field goal, the play was blown dead, but he still kicked the ball, and he made it. And it looked like he still had about 6 or 7 yards to spare on the field goal when he made that 66-yarder. They had a return man back there, but he looked at the ball go through the upright. And then they come right back, and is the very next play, and they were gonna attempt a 71-yard field goal. But then they ultimately took the special teams off the field, brought the offense back on the field, and they threw a Hail Mary past the end, the end. But they were willing to attempt a 71-yard field goal in Cleveland on your home because they ain't have no respect for you. They had absolutely no respect for you. You couldn't run the ball. You did an awful job throwing the ball. And like I said, you can credit the Dallas Cowboys defense to that because they had a good defense up front and on the back. And they just got good overall defense in general. They were more prepared to play the game than Cleveland was. And like I said, Deshaun Watson, he looked washed from what I saw. Couldn't step up in the pocket. When he got outside the pocket, he was hesitant. There were times that I seen him scramble, and he got sacked outside of the pocket when he could have made a throw, but instead he tried to. He was like he was running in quicksand. Throws all inaccurate. Throwing over the head of people. Crowd booing like hell. First game of the season, the crowd booing. And you at home. Then you had a situation in which Tyreek Hill got arrested prior to the Dolphins and Jaguars game. It was a block or two away from the stadium because from the video footage I saw, you could see the stadium in the background. They had the man all down face first on the pavement handcuffs. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't know what the hell justifies putting the man down on the face first, down on the ground in handcuffs if it's just a traffic violation. Now, if you pull Tyreek Hill over and he's in the area of the Miami Dolphins Stadium on Sunday in which they have a game, I understand you got to do your job. If it was a traffic violation, you get a man a ticket and keep it moving. Why the hell you got to yank him out the car, put him all down on the ground, face first, and handcuff and all that? He plays for the Miami Dolphins. He's where he's supposed to be. He's headed to the game. Like I said, it had to be a block or two away because I can see the damn Dolphins Stadium in the background of the video footage I saw. Now Tyreek tried to downplay it a little bit, so to speak, in the post game press when they was asking him about it or whatever, and he brought it up, and then he went into the game and went off. One of his touchdown celebrations was acting like he was in handcuffs. He went off and had a Tyreek Hill-like game that he's known to have. Scored, celebrated in the end zone with a handcuff celebration in the end zone. But you have to explain to me, and I ain't trying to turn this into that kind of, combo, but what the hell justified the man who they said they pulled over for a traffic violation to be down on the ground, face first, handcuffed? Tyreek Hill. He's on his way to the stadium. If it's a traffic violation, give his ass a ticket and let him be on his way. The hell you got to yanking him out the car and putting them all down on the ground face first and handcuffing him for? What kind of damn sense did that make? Now nothing came out of it because he was released and obviously he was with the team because he played and he scored, did the handcuff celebration after he scored and all that. But still, they don't justify nothing. Then we go down to Atlanta. The Falcons, who gave Kirk Cousins the 4-year, $180 million contract this offseason, they can't put up with 10 points. Justin Fields got the start in place of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was dealing with, I think it was a hamstring injury he was dealing with, so they started Justin Fields. And they won 18-10. Now the question is, will they go back to Russell Wilson once his hamstring gets cleared and get good enough to play, or will they remain with Justin Fields since they they 1-0? Now, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm just gonna go with who winning the games. I don't give a damn if I did name Russell Wilson the starter. If I name Russell Wilson the starter and he can't go and I have to play Justin Fields, in which they did yesterday, and I won the game with Justin Fields on the road in Atlanta against a team that upgraded drastically, that's projected to win that division. They got much better over the offseason with the addition, or supposedly got better with the addition of Kirk Cousins and Justin Simmons and Judon, and re-signing AJ Terrell and getting Grady Jarrett back, Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and the crew. They got much better this offseason. And you go on the road to Atlanta and beat that team with the backup quarterback who you didn't name the starter because you had to go with him due to your starter being out due to injury. Now, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to roll with the guy who keeps getting me wins. I don't give a damn if I did name Russell Wilson the starter. He didn't play. My backup played in Justin Fields. We went on the road and we got a win. Now, we only scored 18 points in the win, and it wasn't as pretty as I wanted it to be, but a win is a win. And you got that with your backup quarterback on the road against a team that got much better this offseason in Atlanta. Now, will Justin Fields remain the starter? I don't know. But like I said, if it's me, I'm going to keep rolling with the guy who's winning games. Not just rolling with the guy who I named the starter because I named him the starter, but I'm rolling with the guy who's winning me games. And you start the season 1-0 and Justin Fields won you the first game on the road in Atlanta. So I'm not sure who they got in week 2, but I'm just going to continue to roll with Justin Fields until otherwise. Kirk Cousins looked shaky. Like I said, they signed him 4 years, $180 million in offseason. Raheem Morris, the new head coach over there. They brought in Justin Simmons, Matthew Judon, Grady Jarrett back. You signed AJ Terrell, re-signed him. Drake London over there, Kyle Pitts over there. You had a pretty solid offensive line as it was. Then you go in the draft in the first round and take Michael Penix, Bijan over there. You had Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod over there. Jesse Bates. So you good on the back end with Jesse Bates and the addition of Justin Simmons. Good there. AJ Terrell, good corner. So you good over there. But you want to put up 10 points. With the offensive firepower that you have, you want to put up 10 points. Now I get you going against Pittsburgh. They're more known for defense than the offense that they have. So, but that's still the additions you made with that team this offseason, you should be putting up more than 10 points. And again, I ask you, do these guys need to be playing more preseason? Do these guys need to get more warm-up reps to get ready for the regular season? Now, Atlanta's projected to win his division. And I get it, yeah, Kirk Cousins, who's coming off an Achilles injury last year, I get all that. But do these guys need to have more? I'm not saying they need to play the whole preseason, but do these guys need to play the first quarter of these preseason games instead of sitting them out? Because game time and practice time is different. They have joint practices and all this. I get all that. But that's what preseason is supposed to be for. It's supposed to be getting you ready for the regular season. They got guys sitting out the whole preseason, not playing a game, and then coming into a week 1 opener and looking like shit. Now, like I said, we see every year we see teams, when it comes down to the stretch at the end of the season, we see teams that don't control their destiny. We see teams that can make the playoffs if they get help from other teams. We see teams that win a game and need another team to beat another team, or teams to lose for them to get in the playoffs. And when that don't happen, they don't make the playoffs because they started off shaky from not having these guys ready to go, from playing, getting a little bit of preseason action, having them ready to go to open the season. Now, if you open the season 1-2 or 0-2, then if you had a one or two of those games to open the season up, that wouldn't even matter by you needing help at the end of the season. Because then a lot of times you then control your own destiny, regardless of who beat who. You don't need nobody to beat nobody to get in the playoffs. You control your own destiny because you started off the season good. Now, there are some teams or players that don't play much in the preseason, and they come out and they, take off right away. But I'm talking about the guys that don't play much, come out and start the season off all shaky, looking like they ain't touched the damn football at all season. Look like they don't do shit on the practice side, but sit on the damn sideline with a red jersey on. What the hell you got a red jersey on front? You ain't damn practicing. Ain't nobody gonna touch your ass anyway. You ain't practicing. That's exactly what a lot of these players look like to open the season up. That's why I'm asking, do they need to be seeing more playing time in the preseason? Now, I know they done cut the preseason down from 4 games to 3, and now you got guys that need to get out there and get playing time to try to make the 53-man roster. I get that. I'm not saying that these stars need to play an entire preseason game, but you need to get these guys out here probably for a quarter to get them, to get them going in preparation for the regular season. Because a lot of these teams look like hell. Daniel Jones, the experiment is over. It's time for the Giants to go ahead and move off of him. That's over. I think they lost 28-6. He had ugly interceptions too, pick sixes, throwing the ball all over the damn place, inaccurate. How many passes you gonna give your quarterback? And like I said before in the previous episode, Brian DeBall is on the hot seat. Now, if you want Daniel Jones to be the reason you on the hot seat and lose your job, then so be it. But you got to shake some shit up down there. You can't be getting outperformed by Sam Darnold. You know what Sam Darnold is. Now I get it that he got, a better offense, with Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I get that. That's better than what the New York Giants got offensively. But we've seen what Daniel Jones is. Why the hell he keep getting a pass? What we've seen from Daniel Jones, I don't want nobody to get hurt. Let me just say that. I don't want nobody to get hurt. I don't wish injury on nobody. I understand injuries is a part of the game. But if you lose Daniel Jones, you're not losing a lot. Let's not sit here and act like you losing a quarterback that's been getting you to the playoffs and making playoff runs towards the Super Bowl. You ain't been getting that. Matter of fact, last year when who was it that took over? Was it Tyrod Taylor? What's the other guy? Tommy DeVito. When Daniel Jones was out and these guys took over, one could arguably say that they look better with these guys took over because they lost some games last year that they should have won. They lost some games last year down the stretch because they didn't execute properly. There was mental errors, there was penalties, and there was bad execution. Now, a couple of them games that they had executed and didn't shoot themselves in the foot with penalties, they would have won the games. And they could have arguably been a playoff team last year. So they could have arguably looked better with Tyrod Taylor, Tommy DeVito being there. So losing Daniel Jones, if you play him in the preseason, ain't going to be a bad damn loss. Now, I don't want the man to get hurt. I don't wish that on nobody, but injuries are part of the game, and I don't want nobody to get hurt. But you can argue that losing Daniel Jones, you ain't losing shit. The same thing with Bryce Young. You put him out there and he get hurt, you only won 2 fucking games last year. So how much are you losing when you lose Bryce Young? Hell, if you lose Bryce Young, you might find another quarterback that could be a brighter light for your team. I'm just speaking from not wanting nobody to get hurt. Again, I'm just saying and stating that a lot of these guys who you trying to protect and say they ain't did shit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Daniel Jones ain't did shit. Bryce Young so far in year 2 ain't did shit. So what are you losing by playing these guys in preseason to get these guys ready to go? These type of guys that need to play. These type of guys that ain't did shit in the regular season to justify sitting them in the off season or sitting them in preseason. Get their ass out there, get them some playing time, let them make their mistakes in preseason when it don't count versus making them opening the regular season up, making them mistakes, and that counts. Them interceptions you threw, Bryce, that goes on that right now goes on your resume. Daniel Jones, those interceptions and plays, that now count. That goes on your stats. But if it happened in preseason, it's something you can go back, watch the film, get better with. It don't go on your stats. You can learn from it, get better with it, go into the regular season. But that shit you did yesterday, that shit can go on your stats now. Them picks, them sacks, all that bad play, that shit go on your stats now. You're 0-1. That counts now. That's still not 0-0, nigga. You're 0-1. That loss now counts. That counts. Then Arizona, Buffalo. That's life after Stephon Diggs is now started in Buffalo. So now if you Josh Allen, you now have to distribute the ball. You don't have that bona fide number one. You drafted Keon Coleman. So you now have to distribute the ball. You now have to be a distributor. You don't have just that one main guy you can key in and lock in and zone in on. Stephon Diggs is gone. He's in Houston. So life after Stephon Diggs in Buffalo starts week 1 at Arizona, which they got to win. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, you got to find a way to get Marvin Harrison involved. He was your fourth overall pick. He only had 3 targets. He had 1 reception for 4 yards. That was his stats. Then Kyler Murray missed him. That was potentially the game-winning touchdown. He was wide open. It don't get no more wide open than that. And Murray missed him. 1 reception, 4 yards on 3 targets. That's unacceptable if you got a receiver like Marvin Harrison. You need to find ways to get this guy the ball. I don't give a damn if you got to put him in motion and get the ball in his hand from a jet sweep or end around. Whatever I got to do to get the ball in this guy's hand, I'm doing it. Because 1 reception, 4 yards ain't going to cut it. Now, you put up 28 points despite him having only 1 reception, 4 yards on 1 reception. You still put up 28 points. But still, you got to find a way to get this guy involved. And I understand week 1. But if you Kyler Murray, you ain't in your first, second, or third year. You got to get this guy the ball. Now, if it ain't there, it just ain't there. So you got to scheme some ways up offensively how to get him open to get him the ball. I took Buffalo to win the game anyway. Buffalo ended up winning 34-28. I took them to win the game anyway. But if you Arizona, you got to find a way to get, Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball. That shit unacceptable. Then you had the Patriots, who was the biggest underdog in week 1. Beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati, 16-10. If you Cincinnati, you only put up 10 damn points. That's the type of shit I'm talking about when it comes to this preseason stuff. I understand the New England Patriots got a good defense. That's going to be the bread and butter and identity of their team defensively, because they only put up 16 points offensively, but they held Cincinnati to 10 points. So the bread and butter of their team is going to be on the defensive side of the ball. They got a defensive-minded head coach, first-year head coach Gerard Mayo. So I understand the defense is going to be solid. You got Christian Gonzalez back, the stud corner you drafted out of Oregon. He tore his ACL last year. He was having a damn good year up until that injury. So you got him back. So, I think Jamar Chase had 6 catches for, I don't know, he didn't have a Jamar Chase-like game. Neither did Joe Burrow. T. Higgins, I don't think T. Higgins played. But Cincinnati, the biggest upset, like I said, the Patriots was the biggest underdog of week 1, I think. And they went to Cincinnati and beat them 16-10. Low scoring game. Like I said, Jamar Chase, he didn't play, preseason. He didn't practice. He was holding out. Needed a new contract. He didn't get it. He showed up to be ready for week 1 without playing preseason, without really practicing or doing any of that. And, you know, I mean, you will come out here and you want to score 10 points. I understand it's just week 1. You still got 16 more games to go. But you don't want to start the season that way, getting upset by the New England Patriots, a team in which a lot of people had been, you know, probably one of the worst teams this year, along with, you know, Carolina, you know, some people that had Denver and New York Giants up there. So the Patriots were in the mix with those teams to be the worst teams in the league this year. And that was a good win, especially for Gerard Mayo, first-year head coach, to go to Cincinnati and beat a team like the Bengals, who people were talking so highly of in that AFC North division. So you go on the road, and it only took 16 points to beat the Bengals because you held them 10. So like I said, that's going to be the identity of the New England Patriots. That defense with Gerard Mayo as the head coach, like I said, Jabril Peppers, Kyle Duggar on the back end. And just imagine if they do end up having one of the worst picks, one of the worst records in the league, and they get another high draft pick. They've taken Drake May at the quarterback position. So just imagine if they add a Travis Hunter type of player to that team if they're projected to finish as high as they are projected with the record people saying they're gonna have and the type of team they're gonna be. So imagine if they just go into this draft and get a Travis Hunter and add to that team. Travis Hunter, I'm not sure what they're gonna draft him to play, wide receiver or DB, but can you imagine what that team would be with Christian Gonzalez on one side, and if they take Travis Hunter to play cornerback on the other side, and then you got Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar up front, you know, or what they could, you know, there's different ways they could go. You know, they did lose Judon, so there's different ways they could go. But that was, needless to say, that was a good win, week 1 for the Patriots. And I'm not saying the Patriots are about to be a good team and win 9 games this season. I still don't have them winning more than 4 games. So, but now that I said they win more than 4 games, they got the first win out of the way in week 1. So now they got 3 more to go. They got 16 games to win 3 to match what I said they was going to win 4 games. So, you know, good start to the season for the Patriots, and not so good start to the season for the Bengals. Getting upset by the Patriots at home. So, you know that ain't good. Now, like I say, you still got 16 more games to go. So things could easily change and turn around for the better. I think one of the better games this to open the season up week 1 was last night. I'm not sure how the Jets 49ers are going to turn out tonight, but so far it's been Rams and Detroit last night, Sunday Night Football, in which Detroit won in OT 26-20. I still got Detroit favored to win the division. You know, every team in that division won except for the Packers. The Packers fell Friday night to the Eagles. You know, Jordan Love suffered an injury. I don't think it's going to be season ending, but he's going to miss significant time. I don't think it's going to be season injury. So I think Malik Willis is over there. I'm not sure if they're going to call up somebody or sign somebody like Ryan Tannehill, because you can't fall far behind in this division. I still have Detroit as the favorite. Minnesota went on the road and beat New York Giants yesterday. Then you had the Chicago Bears to come back and beat the Tennessee Titans. So, you know, if you Green Bay, you can't fall too far behind this division. Now you're dealing with a situation where Jordan Love gonna miss significant time with that injury, with that knee or ankle injury, whichever one it was. So you got to get somebody in there that's gonna help you win some games and stay afloat in this division till he get back. Because Detroit still looks good. The Rams are better than people. I think the Rams are better than a lot of people thought they were gonna be. I had told y'all the Rams could possibly win this division. You know, the Rams look good. Sean McVay. A lot of people thought once they won the Super Bowl and then they started getting off picks or whatever, you know, people thought the Rams were going to have to soon head towards a rebuild. But I think they've done a good job over there in that front office of the way they structured and put the team together. You know, you had Aaron Donald who retired, but you also replaced him. And I hate to use the word replace because a guy like Aaron Donald so dominant, it's hard to replace that guy. But you did a damn good job adding on that defensive line to prep yourself for life after Aaron Donald, life without Aaron Donald. You drafted Braden Fisk out of Florida State and Jared Verse. Both those guys came out of Florida State, and you got them in the first 2 rounds, first 2 picks, up front defensively. So the LA Rams, even though they lost, they still gonna be a tough team to beat. You still got Cooper Kupp, who I think had 10 or 11 receptions last night, something like that. But he had 21 targets from Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford threw the ball damn near 50 times last night. And I think 20 or 21 of them targets were aimed at Cooper Kupp. And I think he caught, I'm not sure how many he caught, but he caught a bulk of them. But he had 21 targets. Puka Nacua, I think he left with an injury. So that's going to be a blow to him. But I still think Sean McVay and the way he's coaching that thing up over out there in LA, I think they're still going to be a solid team and a team to reckon with out there, not only just in that division, but just in the NFC in general. I don't think Puka Nacua's injury is going to be season ending. So that's a good thing. But you got a healthy Cooper Kupp back. And like I said, if you can throw him 21 targets and he gets in both of them, you only lost by a touchdown, and it went to overtime. So, and you was with a team going against a team in Detroit, on the road in Detroit against a Detroit Lions team who was in the NFC Championship game last year. And Detroit barely lost that game in the NFC Championship game to San Francisco. So, Detroit still the favorite in my opinion win that division. Despite them going in overtime with LA. LA is a better team than a lot of people thought. LA still, a pretty solid team to reckon with in the NFC. There's just a few takeaways, a few thoughts. Week 1 NFL, like I said, tonight we got more NFL action. Monday Night Football, we got the Jets at San Francisco. Got to see what's going on with the Jets here. Aaron Rodgers pretty much making his debut, even though he played the first game last year. 4 plays into the first game, he was out with a season-ending Achilles injury. So this is damn near like him making his debut all over again for the Jets. In San Francisco, Robert Saleh with his former team, who's a defensive coordinator in San Francisco, out there in the Bay. So we'll see what comes up out of that. I'm gonna take San Francisco at home, although I'm not sleeping on the New York Jets defense. I'm just gonna take Kyle Shanahan to outcoach Robert Saleh to win this game. The Jets defensively is a damn good team defensively. I'm just taking Kyle Shanahan's coaching to outcoach Robert Saleh. In the Jets. We're gonna see what Aaron Rodgers is gonna bring tonight. Like I said, it's damn like him making debut with the Jets because he was 4 plays into last season before he suffered that Achilles season and Achilles injury. So give me the 49ers tonight. Give me Kyle Shanahan to outcoach Robert Saleh. Now that they have Brandon Ayuk inked in, now that they have Trent Williams back, so and speedy recovery to their first round pick. So I think he's out the hospital. He's rejoining the team. So I think he won't be eligible to play again until like week 5 or something like that. After getting shot, an attempted robbery, so prayers to him and his family and his team, and the people that's close to him. It's good to see him out back with the team, getting back to doing football-like activities, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing it wasn't no life-threatening injury, back with the team or whatever. So, it's always good news to hear from a situation like that. But yeah, man, that's my time, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all head over to YouTube, subscribe to the content, hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever new content drop is released. Head over to Instagram. If you want to follow the page, the sports page is damn_YouTube_sports talk. I'll be going live over there on Sundays before the games to get my weekly picks of the upcoming games. Twitter, you want to follow me over there, damn YouTube Sports Talk. If you want to follow my personal page, it's Ralph_Sneaks. Everything's scrolling down at the bottom of the screen. You can just follow me on them platforms. Until the next episode, man. Peace, y'all. Have a good one. Stay safe.